Namaskar, welcome back to Media Scan and wish you all a very happy New Year. Viewers, the Gen Z, the youngsters 18 to 25 generation, is often associated with irreverence, anger and rebellion. Not India's Gen Z today. By choosing temples and pilgrimage centers over beaches and tourist spots, by going to Bhajan Clubbing rather than discos and pubs, today's Gen Z is on a journey of self-discovery. What prompted this complete new trend, and is this here to stay? These are the questions we will go through in this special New Year episode of Media Scan. So stay with us for this episode. But right now, a quick report.
From Tirupati to Ayodhya Dham and Kamakhya, India witnessed an unprecedented rush of pilgrims during the New Year break. Kashi Vishwanath Temple in Varanasi recorded a footfall of 5 lakh devotees only on New Year's Day, with queues stretching up to 3 kilometers. Mahakaleshwar Temple in Ujjain saw more than 12 lakh devotees between late December to the first few days of January. 6.5 lakh devotees had darshan there only in one day. Ayodhya had an estimated 5.8 crore visitors in December up to New Year's Day. Jagannath Puri, Vaishno Devi also witnessed unprecedented crowds. But what caught the eye was not just the number. It was the presence of the energetic, the excited youngsters often referred to as Gen Z. The Gen Z, Gen Alpha, is choosing temples over beaches and holiday cruises. It is preferring to explore cultural centers and stand in queues outside pilgrimage sites. The changing preferences of these youngsters are not limited only to their holiday choice. Bhajan Clubbing is scoring high over discos, pubs and Western music. Bands of singers with latest instruments singing Shiv and Ganpati bhajans. Ramayan chaupais and Sanskrit shlokas are drawing massive crowds. Bhajan singers are flooded with bookings running into months, and big hotels, clubs have been compelled to invite them to prevent customers from leaving. India's Gen Z is returning to its roots, exploring its civilizational depths and soaking in the spiritual waters. But is this trend just a fad, or is it here to stay?
So after that interesting report, the obvious question, what is driving this new trend? And for that, let me introduce you to my guests for this evening. I have here with me in the DD studios, Abhishek Asthana, someone who has been observing and even working in the social media arena for a very, very long time. Welcome, Abhishek. I am sure you will help us understand this new trend better. Also with me, Suresh Nakwa, political analyst, has handled and seen through numerous very interesting social media campaigns through the last few years. Namaskar, Suresh Nakwa, welcome. And another friend with us this evening, Aditi Paswan. Among us, she is the one perhaps who deals on an everyday basis with the Gen Z as she teaches in the Delhi University. Hello, namaskar.
Namaste.
And shall I start with you, Aditi? As I said, among us, you are perhaps one who deals with today's Gen Z on an everyday basis, interacting with them, spending time with them. What do you think is driving this very interesting trend? As I said, is it just a fad? People are going because others are also going. Is it because better infrastructure is seen in the temples and pilgrim centers? Or do you think there is a deeper sense of discovery involved?
Hi, आप सबको a very happy new year to all of you, and especially my Gen Z students who should watch this episode. So, as you said, daily, every day when I deal with students, I feel it's more of a deeper connection that they have started feeling. It's more, they feel like they need to go back to their roots. So because of the COVID, they lost few years of their life. It was completely on digitally. So now they want first digital detox. Second, they want something to connect with the community. And that connection with the community, they're looking through a spiritual route rather than the routes which were maybe the millennials used to take. Now for them, I was seeing this trend which was Bhajan Clubbing, which has come up. It's very evident, and a lot of my students have actually went for it, and they were sharing videos.
Oh.
And they told me, yeah, they were sharing the videos, and when we spoke, I was actually of our students yesterday somewhere near Horskhas village. There's a village, there's a party place, and also there's a big temple. So she went there and she was there all day. She said that, ma'am, I felt some sort of a connect because I was feeling at peace, and I could see the people from my community, I could see the people from my state coming and talking to me, and it somewhere gave me that sense of fulfillment and satisfaction. And there's also a trend, I'll tell you, because these students, they tell me of silent parties. Now they are completely detracting themselves from any sort of loud music, or maybe any wine or things they used to consume initially. There's a complete sort of detachment from those stuff. And they feel that while we have to connect with the community, the connection with the community should be completely spiritual in its nature. And they prefer to go back to the roots. Because, mental exhaust and that burnout has really taken a toll on their mental health. So in order to address that burnout, they are taking this. I think it's more of a deeper connection, not just an Instagram fad. Because most of the students, when I was seeing on Instagram, none of them have actually uploaded those videos.
Yeah, so this is not just to show people a kind of a real fad, as they say, just to show off. But let me come to Abhishek Asthana here. Abhishek, do you agree with Aditi that somewhere the roots of this new trend may lie in those, in that period of the COVID, when people actually realized, there was a sense of disillusionment and all these superficial entertainments and relaxations, people suddenly realized it doesn't really help much. The real depth of life lies somewhere else. And from there, this realization may have happened. And now the youngsters, more particularly than their elder generation, are trying to find ways and means which gives them a kind of spiritual a spiritual peace of mind, rather than spending time in pubs or in alcohol and parties, the stuff.
Yep. Namaskar to everyone, and Happy New Year to all. And see, I'll talk about some historical perspective as well.
Yes.
So what has happened is basically, if you look at history, right? I mean, when you pick up your NCERT textbook in the 6th standard, and the first chapter itself talks about, when you reach medieval history, Mahmud of Ghazni, and then there's Muhammad Ghori, and then a litany of invaders and plunderers that has come. I mean, it's basically when you are done with history, you feel like a sense of loss, right? And till Ahmad Shah Abdali, till in the 17th century, basically. So what has happened is that when you are done with Indian history, you feel a sense of loss. And this is period, I guess, this time of reclamation of glory, right? We've always felt like this is something that not to talk about, right? Suddenly in this period when the Ram Mandir came up as well, right? It was a sense of kind of fulfillment of past glory, that they can take pride in the past glory. So there's aversion, there's kind of inclination towards religion as well.
So you think the threshold, the turning point came with the building of the Ram Mandir in Ayodhya?
I would say so, yeah. This was a, I think, 500-year-old, I mean, kind of campaign that finally fulfilled, right? So, and what also happened was that suddenly the things around religion was made cool. Right? I mean, the kind of infrastructure you talked about, the infra plus the kind of packaging that we have done with new age singers. I'm making new bhajans and songs, that what she talked about the Bhajan Clubbing, basically.
Yes.
What has happened is because those bhajans have been made cool now with beats and everything, right? So it's easier to dance to. Not just someone who's like Gulshan Kumar singing in a T-series video, right? It's something which you can dance to as well.
So it's more in tune with the mind of the Gen Z, the youngsters.
You look at the decorations, you could look at the kind of leisure lighting that is happening at religious places. So all of it has packaged religion in a way which is easily consumable by the Gen Z. Right, and that's where I think they're taking it up and I mean reclaiming it. And one more point basically is that, like, when they look at West, right? We have been following and aping West, right? Suddenly, when you have this pushback from them that, okay, you're not one of us. So these guys feel rootless now. So they can claim their ancient traditions when it has become cool as well, right? So that's where they come back. You see the movies that are coming up right now, all are strictly produced and everything. And so these movies also instill that thought process that, okay, you can take glory, you can reclaim your past, and you can take pride in your past as well, right?
Hold your thought. I'll come back to that Western question that you have just pointed out. But before that, I'd like to come to Suresh Nakwa. Sir, certain things have come out from what Abhishek has flagged. That feeling of rootlessness, which often packaging, this modern, very in-tune packaging with the younger generation, which has caught their imagination somewhere. But there are some naysayers, as always. These people have a complaint that this kind of rush to temples and the attraction among the youngsters is somewhere disturbing the sanctity, the peace of these pilgrim centers, which are not meant as picnic spots. Do you agree with that line of thought? What do you feel?
No, number one, I don't agree with that view of thought, because the Sanatan Dharma or the Hindu Dharma, as we see, it's civilizational Dharma, and it's since ages. And we have been evolving. We have been evolving our culture. We have been evolving our traditions. We have been evolving our puja paddhatis and everything. So, as Abhishek rightly said, with laser light and nicely packaging, this Bhajan Clubbing coming in, people joining in. I was amazed to see that there are paid tickets for the Bhajan Clubbing. Those people, the students, the young guys, the young girls who used to go to pubs or parties, or nothing wrong in it, but who used to go over there now prefer Bhajan Clubbing. And if you see it philosophically, during this generation, Gen Z, or you can even say Gen Alpha, is no doubt more connected than what we were in our times, but they are also more lonely. If you see, they are connected on their cell phones, but they don't know who's their next door neighbor. Or maybe they might know a couple of neighbors, that's all in the whole building. So, this Bhajan Clubbing, and yesterday I saw Namo Parvati at Thane, on a lake. It was one of the best thing I have seen in a few years. So youngsters are joining in, and the youngsters going to pilgrimage or youngsters going to temples. There's nothing wrong in it. And our Hindu Dharma is known to evolve around. Hindu Dharma is a civilization Dharma. It is known to evolve around ages. We are not stuck. We don't go by one single book, or we don't go by one single scripture. We day by day we keep on changing things. When you see the Kashi Vishwanath corridor was built, before it was built, you couldn't even see the guard from the temple. Now you can see the guard from the temple, and the way it has been done. If I am not wrong, just more than 1 million people visited Kashi Vishwanath temple on 31st of December. 1 million people.
Yes, and let me add that a big number of that, it was not limited to just the elderly. A big number of that consisted of our youth. And you are right, sir, that when there is better infrastructure, everybody looks for a good experience, a pleasant experience, whether in a pilgrimage site or a tourist spot, anywhere. But coming back to Aditi, we were just talking about the West. It is interesting that this new trend may not be actually limited to just the India or the Indian subcontinent. In the recent reports in the US, and there are multiple reports in the past 1 week, which say that the number of the Gen Z visiting churches in this Christmas New Year season was higher than the entire last 1 century. That is 100 years. So do you think this returning to God, if I may put it like that, this journey towards a spiritual satisfaction, a rediscovery, is slowly becoming a churning worldwide? It's catching up?
Yeah, absolutely. There has been a generational shift in the way the Gen Z sees the world. We are millennium. I'm a millennium. I remember when we were growing up, for us, marriage and career were 2 options. First we have to make a career, and then we have to do a match. So it was career banao and then you. But now when I talk to my young students, they are giving priority to the family also. And they always tell me that, because we marry late, the problems like PCOD, PCOS, which has been rising globally. and infertility. So we want to, so from this conversation, I come to one realization that they're giving very importance to the family, and they're managing and they're able to balance family and career both. So when they're giving, so it is somewhere that you're going back to the roots, that you want a family life to flourish, you want that bonding to be there. And this all family life, bonding, community, connection with the family is only possible when you're mentally, emotionally charged. And that charging of emotionally and that sense of enlightenment can only come through when you have a strong connect with the God or any form of belief that guides you or drives you. And Gen Z is able to find that belief in the form of God, that they want to pray, or they're going to the churches or going to the temple. So they have found that path of enlightenment, and through that path of enlightenment, they want that bond to grow back again.
Right. I'll come back to you on this, but I just want a quick take from Abhishek also. Abhishek, you gave us a historic perspective, the civilizational aspect, but just one more point. Is this also a return to God, a return to faith?
Yeah. So I'll just add one more point, basically. So what is happening, this is the age of social media, right? And this is the age of comparison. I mean, you have the entire world to compare with. Earlier, you had your neighborhood that, okay, fine, this person qualified for this government exam, that was your benchmark. Now you have the entire, I mean, you can never be happy. Even if someone, let's say you make $1 million a year, there'll be someone who's made $100 million a year. You show their posts on LinkedIn, Twitter, and Instagram. So there'll always be someone who will be doing better than you. So there's hollowness. You're chasing emptiness, basically. And that's when you realize that this is a wild goose chase. And that's when you want to come back to your roots and connect to some higher entity, basically, to give you that satisfaction, to give you that fulfillment. Because that fulfillment won't be possible chasing among your connections. Material world, absolutely. So chasing material is wild goose chase, as I said. Yes. You cannot achieve satisfaction and happiness there. So you have to come back. People have realized that, as you rightly said, even in the West as well, people are coming back to churches, basically. So it's an abyss out there.
No, what do you think drives it in the West? We've talked of the Indian context, but what about the US?
Same thing. I mean, the same algorithms that govern us, govern them as well. The same Instagram they're also using, the same Twitter they are also using. So it's always about this whole global comparison, that there's always someone doing better than you, right? So you can never achieve happiness or satisfaction spending 8 hours on that platform. And that's when you realize this hollowness. That, I mean, you can never be happy. And to achieve happiness, to achieve completeness, they have to go back to the Almighty, basically. That's
Yes. Suresh Nakwa, you spoke at length on the Bhajan Clubbing trend. I want to understand from you, is it also catching up as an industry? I mean, we hear of so many of these bands and clubs all across Ahmedabad, Surat, Mumbai, Pune, Bangalore, even Gurugram, Jaipur, so many, most of the biggest cities of the country.
Yes, it is catching up. And, I mean, the best part, it is going houseful. I mean, you have to wait. Suppose there's one show in Mumbai, you're not getting the ticket, the next show is next month. So you have to wait. And, I mean, you can expect it to grow into $1 or $2 billion industry, maybe in a couple of years. It can easily grow into that. So, basically, what they are doing, I mean, from what I haven't been there, but from what I have read, I mean, basically, as in other clubs, you get drinks or something. Here, you get something like chai, or you get something like buttermilk. And I mean, people are enjoying. They are connecting with each other. They are connecting with the God. And as Abhishek rightly said, it has been packaged very well. And one more point which I missed saying last time. See, this generation, Gen Z, then Alpha, we have seen the victory of a 500-year fight. We are lucky, very lucky to be the part of that generation who has seen the win, who has seen the construction of Ram Temple, who has seen Pran Pratishtha of Ram Temple. I mean, so we have seen this with our own eyes, which are fathers and forefathers who are not able to.
One second. I'm curious to know, when did this Bhajan Clubbing really take off? I mean, where did it really become so so attractive suddenly?
I mean, it happened after the Ram Mandir. It happened after Ram Mandir. They started picking up last year, and this year it has reached top levels, and now it's going to rise. I mean, if you go to Ahmedabad, you go to Surat, even you go to smaller tier 2 cities like Rajkot, or you go Pune, Nagpur, Nashik, I mean, it's rising everywhere. You go to Bangalore, Hyderabad, I mean, it's going on.
Wonderful. I think I'll come to Aditi here. Aditi, the obvious question all people are talking among themselves, sometimes in hushed tones, is this just another something that people are doing because the other guy is doing it, because there is always a peer atmosphere, a peer pressure. Whether we talk of this rush to pilgrim centers or bhajan clubbing.
No, it's absolutely here to stay, because I'll tell you, this generation is at the crossroad where we are trying to decolonize ourselves.
Yes.
Initially, our generation, we were mimicking the West because we thought that is what is being modern. Modernization and westernization were always confused. But this generation is taking a lot of confidence and pride in their own culture. Like if you see the fashion sense also, they would wear a chikankari dress. They're not going to rush to some fast fashion brand and going to buy clothes. So this trend is here to stay because these people are taking some sort of pride and they're very confident in their own shoes. They don't feel that pressure in order to prove something. Like we always had that pressure that, we are modern enough, we're liberal enough. And liberty is so deeply intertwined in their head and in their consciousness that they have lost that sense of it, that it's a good thing that they don't feel insecure about their identity.
So they are not out to prove anything. There is no FOMO here. It is more about being at peace with oneself. Abhishek, last word to you. Is this going to stay?
Absolutely, it's going to stay. I'm going to be agreeing with everyone here. Basically, so what is happening is that this is a generational shift, right? I mean, this is social media is going to stay, basically. The algorithms are going to stay. So what is happening is that people have realized and reclaimed the power of their past, right? Now, and as Suresh has said, that Ram Mandir was a pivotal point when there was a moment of victory. Like imagine so many generations before us couldn't have that moment, and this is a generation which is lucky one who has got that moment with us, and this is gonna it has spurred that revolution basically, and all things said, people are gonna reclaim. There are more and more movies are being made. There are more and more content being created, and all of it is converging towards this thought that okay, we have to take pride in our past.
So there are multiple expressions.
Yeah.
It's not just limited to this or that.
Absolutely. So, I mean, I'll give an example basically.
Yes.
I mean, some days ago, I saw a post on Instagram where a young person like me was on a thing of reading Gita, Bhagavad Gita, Gita Press copy, and reading one chapter each day for the next 18 days, basically. And that particular movement got so much traction that hundreds of people joined in that movement. And these are people who had never picked up Gita before. And suddenly they're like, okay, we want to, and Gita is an amazing text, basically. It's a secular text. I mean, people from any religion can come and, extract learnings from it. So basically, what I'm seeing here is that people are taking pride in that, basically, reading Gita as well. And they're asking for translations as well, that which is the best translation possible. We want to explore different facets of different translations. So this is here to stay. I mean, I could see from my eyes, just 2 days ago.
Fine. Point taken. But I'm afraid that's all the time we had on this show this evening. But yes, the Gen Z, as all of us agree, is on a journey of self-discovery, going back to the roots, finding answers in the Gita, finding peace in singing bhajans, and generally spending time with people of their generation, but in a different way, not known earlier. On that note, friends, it's a wrap-up on Media Scan for this evening. Once again, have a great year. Thank you, Suresh Nakwa, Aditi Paswan, and Abhishek Asthana for sharing your thoughts, your perspective. See you again. Namaskar.
Thank you.